Hey everyone, Cralopix here, and today I'm going to build you a Gundam. I don't know if you've seen these before, but they're actually quite fun, especially if you like to put things together, which I do. They're quite fun. Basically, Gundams are these Japanese models that snap together, so they don't require any glue, which is the best part of it, because I feel like the American models, like plane models and car models and such, you need to use glue, and I'm really bad at that, and it's very messy, so it put me off of models for a very long time until I was introduced to Gundams, where they just snap together. It's the most awesome thing ever. So today I'm going to, they're also really cheap by the way, I'm going to be building a Gundam Astray green frame. I'm not going to get into Gundams a whole lot today, but the Astrays are my favorite Gundams to put together. But yeah, this particular model is considered a high grade, which means it's not too difficult, it's not too many pieces. This is good for a beginner. This wouldn't be my first one, but this particular model isn't available in any other level, so yeah. But yeah, in the box, it's pretty much all self-contained. All you need are your tools when you put together Gundam models. But yeah, as you can, let me move these so you can see better. But you get these frames, and all of your pieces are attached on these frames. So as you go, you'll be cutting these pieces off the frame and then snapping them together. Some models come with many frames, and it can be a bit tedious and a bit ridiculous. They also come with stickers and decals that you can put on to, make it a bit more real. Those are fun. They also come with instructions, of course, so that, well, this one has like a little comic on the front, but they do come with directions on, wait, the directions better be in here. Here we go. So they do come with directions on how to put it together. Gundams are Japanese, but I wouldn't worry about it because the pictures are pretty self-explanatory. Like, there's no, there's some Japanese writing on there, but the pictures are very clear and it tells you exactly which part you need next to work with. So don't be intimidated by that. Definitely give these a try. Now, Gundams are, so like I said, everything is included except for the tools. So you've got the decals, the stickers, all of the parts, and the instructions. But the tools, you need something to cut the pieces off the frame with. So these are specific Gundam snippers, but you can use, they're like flat on one side so that you can get close to the frame so you don't have any nubs when you cut them. But you can use any kind of clippers. These are we just got these because, Gundam. They were right there and it was easy. Now, that's pretty much all you need. That's all you need to put it together as is. But I like to add a little bit more detail. So they have Gundam markers, and people use these to, give quite a bit of detail once they've completed their Gundam, or as they go. They will, say you want your Gundam to look battle damaged. They'll paint it and use markers and such to give it that look. I'm going to use the markers to just kind of give it a bit more definition so it doesn't look so bland, particularly on these white pieces. But other than that, yeah, that's definitely a personal choice. My first Gundam was very plain and as is, like just what came in the box. So, like I said, Gundam kits are quite cheap. Like this one was maybe $10, something like that. I don't know. I usually buy these overseas, so it's hard to remember. But yeah, around that price point, $10. The clippers, you only need to buy these once unless you break them. They were actually quite cheap. They were like $8. But I've had these for a few years now, so that's good. The markers are cheap. They were about $1 a piece. And if you want to get even more serious, they have special Gundam paint and everything. Those can range anywhere from $1 a bottle to $10 a bottle. So it really depends on how into this you want to get. But it's, believe it or not, this is still considered a craft. So yeah, that's why it's here. That's why I do it. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes on the boxes they'll tell you, but it doesn't look like it's on this box. No, I don't see it. Maybe in the instructions they'll tell you if you want to paint it. They'll tell you what colors you need to match. No, not on here. Oh no, here it is. They'll tell you what colors you need to get, like what Gundam colors you need to get to match the pieces that are on the frame. So yeah, it's called color guide, and they tell you also where to put some of the decals. It looks like maybe, yeah, some decals here. But yeah, this is what this guy is gonna look like when we're done. This is the front, this is the back. It's gonna look pretty awesome. So as you can see, Gundams they're robots. So they're basically giant robots that defend the Earth from other giant robots. Gundam is a very, very old anime. I'm not too sure which came first, the comic or the anime, but it's very old. It's very like from the 70s old, and it's still going. There's so many video games out, so many different types of animes, so many different story arcs. I have not seen very many Gundam episodes just yet, but yeah, there's so many different versions of Gundams out there. So the good thing is that I'll never be bored with all the different types that are out there. I did explain before that this was considered a high grade, which is one of the lower levels of difficulty. There are the next grade up would be master grade, which, you know, has more pieces and a bit more detail to the Gundams. Like sometimes you can get the same Gundam but different levels. After master grade is real grade. And also these change in size. So the easier it is, the smaller the model, I believe. So this is a 1/144 scale. So this is one, if Gundams are real, and they are, it's a 1/44 of the actual scale of an actual Gundam. So master grades, I believe, are 1/100th of the scale, so it's a bigger than the high grade. So the master grade's bigger than the high grade, and then there's the real grade, which I believe is the same size as the master grade but higher difficulty. So they've added that in, so it has a lot more pieces, a lot more detail, a lot more work involved in that. And then there's perfect grade, which is the same level of difficulty as the real grade, but it's bigger. It's bigger than the master grade, bigger than the real grade. So yeah, that's pretty much my info for Gundams. Trying to think of what else. I can give you some tips on how I put together my Gundam, but I really would suggest giving these a try, whether you like robots or not, whether you're into Gundams or not. These are just really fun to put together because you get all of these pieces, and then putting them together you get a finished product. It's really cool. And some people really decorate theirs. They there are some phenomenal Gundams out there. Very easy to Google, but they're just the paint jobs that they do, the modifications that they do, they're just incredible. Some of them don't even look like the original, you know, the Gundam that you build on the picture here. They just look totally different. People have modded them, painted them. It's just unreal. And wow, I don't have that kind of skill or that kind of patience. I'm the one who wants to just quickly put it together, call it done, admire it, and then put it on the shelf. So that's how I use my Gundams. You can get bases for these, so you can pose them and they look all cool and badass and everything. But the bases tend to take up a lot more space, like kind of double the space. So because I put together a lot of Gundams, I need that space. So I just tend to pose them in a upright, well, not even upright all the time, but I tend to pose them without a base. So yeah, these are fully movable robots that you'll be building here in a Gundam set. So I would say do everything as if you weren't going to take these apart ever again, because once you snap them, they snap so well, so tightly, so securely that you run the risk of breaking it if you try to take any of these pieces apart to like fix something. So it's best that you try to trim these nubs as well as you can before you put them together. You know, make sure that you've got the right pieces before you put them together, because trying to get them apart is really tough. And yeah, like I said, you might break the pieces and there goes your whole Gundam. So yeah, I did mention that this particular Gundam was about $10. But this is like, you know, like one of the lowest difficulties and fewest amount of pieces and such. So there are Gundams that range in the hundreds. Those are usually your perfect grades, and they'll have lights and all kinds of, you know, extra features and details and such. So yeah, if you're really serious, you can get, you know, higher, you can sink a lot of money into it, let's say. Not impossible. Like I've got one, I have several that I bought a bunch overseas because they were really cheap, and I haven't put them together yet because I don't have any display space at the moment. But those, one of them I bought was an all clear, perfect grade, so it's like the highest difficulty, and it's beautiful. I can't wait to put it together, but I want to set aside some time where I can really, you know, focus on it and not wreck it, and you know, because it's really easy to cut the wrong part, and I don't know. I mean, you don't have to be super careful, but you need to have, you know, a little bit of care when you put it together, I guess. Like, you need to pay attention to what you're doing. But yeah, it's all clear. It looks really cool. And I lied, I do have two favorites. So I like the Astrays, but I also like the 782s, which is the classic Gundam that, if you've seen a Gundam, that's most likely the one that you've seen. Like in Japan, they took it down now, but they had a giant Gundam statue. I think it was a 1-to-1 scale. Maybe. But they just took it down. But anyways, that Gundam was a 782. So whenever you look up Gundams, that's usually the first one that you find. Crazy the level of detail and design that goes into these Gundams. I mean, even for this high grade, which is one of the easier difficulties, it's ridiculous. Like, there's ball joints, all kinds of joints. The way these things, like the order that you put it in, it's just crazy how well designed this is for, you know, like a model. And just the way that you don't have to use glue and everything snaps together, it's just, it's awesome. I just love how this is so exact. I know it's finicky and everything, with how, you know, clean you gotta cut off these knobs and everything, but I guess that's what I like about it. It's very precise, it's very exact. It's almost like IKEA furniture. Like, you shouldn't be able to mess this up the way it's been designed and such. Not to say that I haven't messed some up before, but you know, it's very hard to mess these up. Rule of thumb is that if it's not fitting together, don't force it. Have a look and see what's going on. Have you tried building one of these before? Or do you think you'd like to try building one of these? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm very anxious to hear if anybody else does this like me. Yeah, let me know if you're willing to try it, or if you have done it, which Gundam did you put together? What level of difficulty do you think you can handle? Once these Gundams are complete, they make this awesome robot figurine that, you know, moves and everything. So it's quite nice for kids to play with, if they're not old enough to put it together themselves. And I've actually done a couple of commissions where I've put the Gundams together for people, for their children to play with. So that also meant, like, I secured some of the pieces and such. But yeah, because they didn't have time to, you know, make the Gundam themselves. The Gundams are so cool in their own right. Okay, that's it. That's my guy. Yeah, he's all complete. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. He's quite small, but yeah, he's 144th the size of a real Gundam. But yeah, like his feet move, his legs, knees, all the joints move. He's got a shield, he's got 2 swords, he's got this crazy laser sliding gun thing. Crazy. And then he's got another gun. So yeah, he came with 2 guns, 2 swords, and a shield. And his shield. So he can guard and shoot at the same time. So yeah, he's pretty posable. They always kill me because they have tiny heads. Such big bodies, but tiny heads. But yeah, that's him. That's my Gundam. I always have great fun putting these together. And as you can see, it's really simple. The easier the difficulty, the quicker it is. This one took me about an hour to put together in total, and that's with me being pretty picky about how close I get to the burrs and everything. I usually like to have it pretty flat. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!